Hi guys, welcome back. So what I have in front of me is an interesting item. This is an LSI 9248i. That is a raid card for the uninitiated, except I plan to do something a little different with it. That's the LSI 9240 in all of its glory. Features two SAS 8087 connectors. And that can directly connect to 8 drives if you use SATA breakout cables. But this device can control up to 256 disks, I want to say, or was it? I believe it was 256 disks. I'll correct it if I'm wrong with some annotation somewhere in here. I don't want this for its RAID functionality though. What? He says. What do you mean you don't want it for the RAID functionality? Well, if I take a quick brief and spin around, that there is a Supermicro 24-bay 4U rack mount server chassis. There's no guts in it at the minute, but that has a SAS expander on it. Although this would be perfectly fine to work with that SAS expander the way it is, I use FreeNAS as a I realised that's out of focus. Haha. I use FreeNAS as my file server system of choice, which doesn't behave well with RAID cards because FreeNAS, when it's using ZFS, likes to have direct access to the disks. So that's perfectly fine if you're using a couple of SATA drives and that sort of thing. However, that chassis requires that you go over an 8087 connector to it. I've even got the lovely 8087 connector cable here. I need a HBA, not a RAID card. A HBA is a host bus. I said that very weirdly. A host bus. I can't say it now. Host bus adapter. There we go. And essentially just presents the disks to the system as if they were directly connected. No RAID gubbins in the way. Typically, people using this chassis and HBA tend to pick up the LSI 9211-8i, which is it's not as high-end a RAID card, but when you flash them down, they're just connecting devices anyway, so it's not an issue. This I got on eBay because it was considerably cheaper than getting the 9211-AI, despite the 9211-AI being a much weaker card if you use them normally. The H248i can be run in HBA mode, although all of the guides are for 9211-8Is. And the way that you get a 9240-8i to do it is you cross-flash it and make it believe it's a 9211i, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is a perfectly functional RAID card. I hope I don't cock it up. So I have my insanely big cup of coffee, and I'm going to be using this old, definitely not an AMD FX system. It's actually a really old AMD 3 Plus system using some ASRock board and a single core Sempron of 145. I'm just going to be using that to flash this card, hopefully. Oh god. Yeah, so none of my knowledge would be existing if Serve the Home didn't exist. ServeTheHome.com, that is. As they have a couple of articles about the IBM server RAID M1015. Just so you know, the IBM server RAID M1015 is essentially this very card. It's just a rebranded thing. Even their image, if you look at it, looks extremely similar. That's because it's pretty much the same card anyway. And he even says in here, and he's got some guides to actually flashing these things and cross-flashing them. So yeah, wish me luck. Here's a closer look at the SAS 8087 connector. Essentially a bunch of pins on either side, just a lock-in connector. Very simple. So this is the internals of that single core machine. A Zalman CNPS 9900. Glows green. Ooh, it's nice. 4 gigs of, no, not 4 gigs, what I'm saying. 2 gigs of DDR3 ECC RAM. Just because, why the fuck not? And of course our lovely RAID card. Normally this doesn't actually have a hard drive in it, because it normally just boots off a USB hard drive thing, which is kind of dumb, but it works. It doesn't really get used for much anymore. This used to be my primary router until I decided that I prefer the fireboxes, and there were new form factors. Going back to this lovely article, I'm going to be cross-flashing it into what's known as an IT mode, which is straight pass-through, no RAID, and the best for ZFS systems because it presents the disks and all of their smart data, which ZFS wants. So yeah, just got to format the disk the standard way in... So I quickly pop the RAID card back out, focus, because we will need this number 565B, and then the 0-061B-ACD0 is the SAS address of the card, and we'll need that to flash it. Moment of truth, I guess. This machine is so goddamn quiet, I can never tell if it's turned on. Oh yeah, good. Guess we better try and... Oh, I'll have F11 for the boot menu. Always different for these. Okay, so it's picking up the RAID card, that's good. RAID card has some nice flashy LEDs on it. Only on the back though. I've got to be careful this doesn't get too hot. I didn't realise there was another little LED there. I've got things covered in them. Alright. So this thing recognises there's... Oh, apparently remove disks or other media. Okie dokie, why can't I boot? So yeah, I'm an idiot. Totally forgot that I need to make this a DOS bootable drive. So I'm just using Rufus here. Simple program that does it well. And that should be marked now as saying it's bootable. And then I just need to Control A and copy them on there. Silly mistakes. That's why I have such a large pot of coffee next to me. Oh, copy. Yeah, copy and replace. Okie dokie, take two. Now that our DOS bootable USB actually works, we can now get down to business. Yeah, everything appears to be here. So we just need to do, we need to clear the flash first. So what we're going to do is call up the megarec. I'm not sure what this file does altogether, but from what I've been told, it pretty much is for just dumping the ROMs and clearing them out. So SBRE, does tablet? Yes. So essentially we've just cleared the flash, which is kind of worrying, except we're now going to do a proper clean flash. Oh, failed to flash image, please retry recovery. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So apparently rebooting and then just trying the two commands again has it working. Interestingly. All of the lights have gone out as well, which is kind of disconcerting. So after a reboot, there is an issue. Oh joy. So apparently there might be an issue with using this in quite an old system which doesn't have EFI. So this is now on my desktop. Let's pray it works. Disconnected the hard drives as well, just in case. Where is it in here? Hello? Why don't you want to boot? Now that we're actually in the EFI shell, I'm not sure which one we want to mount, but I believe it's FS0. I want mount, yeah, mount FS0. Force file system, and then we can hopefully go from here. Maybe? I don't know. SAS to Flash EFI, tech list all. Oh, hello. Controller is not operational. A firmware download is required. Okay, enter firmware. If I put 2218. Oh shit. Input error. Whoopsie. Well, that seems to have done the trick. Booting into an EFI shell and using the EFI SAS to Flash version instead, and it was simply SAS to Flash.efi -o-f 2, and then selecting the 2118 IT bin file, and then along with TACB mpt sas2.rom and letting it run, and apparently it's worked. So if I go back and do SAS2Flash.efi and do list all, hopefully we should see the SAS 2008 thing is listed with version 20. That's good. That's good. That's real good. And controls. If we reboot. There we go. And then it's Control C to get into the controller, I think. And we should hopefully be able to see if we're in target initiator mode. Republic of Gamers. I really did not need the board. Control C. SAS address not programmed on controller in slot 4. Interesting. Invoking the SAS controller. Words everywhere. Oh yay! And it picks it up as a 92118i. Brilliant. So now we just need to check that this is running in IT mode. It does say it's using the IT firmware. Okay. Guess there's only one way to test this. That's actually attaching a ZFS array. Oh god, this is going to be disastrous. Oh well, thanks for coming along on this wild ride. Flashing a 9240 to a 9211. I originally tried stuff, but you do need an EFI BIOS to do it, so... well, to do it successfully and quickly, I'll give it that. By the way, I have a website, zanginator.com. I've been posting a few things there, well, trying to get things up to date and that sort of thing. So yeah, check this out over there. I'll also have a written article most probably about this and all the stupidity that I've performed. So yeah, thank you for watching guys, and see you next time.